John, our class offering this term is a bit of a change for us, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
We'll be discussing David W. Blight's book, American Oracle, the Civil War in the Civil Rights Era.
Yes, we're very excited about this course. The essays in American Oracle are very thought-provoking, and we look forward to the interesting conversations they are sure to engender with any and all come September 24th.
Yeah, excited indeed. In fact, I stand like a greyhound in the slips, straining upon the start.
Yes, well, it is interesting that you paraphrase Shakespeare. I don't know if you realize it or not, but some of our former class participants have suggested that you and I have already done enough Shakespeare to satisfy the demand and that we ought to pursue other genres for a change.
Really? That it should come to this? How sharper than a serpent's tooth it is to have a thankless student!
I agree that the charge is preposterous, but nonetheless, we ought to heed the suggestions of our AOL members, shouldn't we?
Perhaps. But I really don't believe that one can do too much Shakespeare. Remember, you and I are past our dancing days, and we really ought to focus on the most truly important literature extant. And I must add that the mere suggestion that we have been misguided in choosing to explore the works of William Shakespeare is totally disheartening. But as we know, when sorrows come, they come not as single spies, but in battalions. But I'll not respond in kind, since rich gifts wax poor, when givers prove unkind.
That shows a lot of character, Doc. Purely as an aside, I should mention that upon hearing about the brewing dissatisfaction regarding our overdoing of Shakespeare, I did a little research on Shakespearean scholars and discovered that in some very rare cases, overexposure to Shakespeare can lead to a mental disorder referred to as bardophrenia.
Bardophrenia? Really? Can one desire too much of a good thing? Is that a disease? Knowing that every word from the bard is a dish fit for the gods, I can't imagine anything but good coming from one's devotion to Shakespeare and to his works.
I tend to agree, Doc. Bardophrenia, however, is well documented and nothing to be scoffed at. It manifests itself in its early stages as an incessant sprinkling of Shakespearean quotes in one's everyday speech.
I can see how anyone might choose to liberally quote the bard, although brevity is the soul of wit. My heart is true as steel, and I know how much adulation is too much. Besides, who else to quote other than the bard? There's small choice amongst rotten apples.
I suppose so. As the disorder progresses, rather than accentuate one's conversation, the Shakespearean quotes tend to overpower all other original thoughts.
I wouldn't get too wrapped up in all this, John. You're no psychologist. You're no psychiatrist either. And you should proceed wisely and slow. They stumble, but run fast.
Are you feeling okay, Doc?
Yeah, I'm feeling great, never better. Though my mind's more richer than my tongue. What's done is done. And really, the world's mine oyster.
Okay, good, I think. Anyway, the final stages of the disease cause one's speech to be totally overcome by Shakespearean text to the point where meaning and content become secondary, if not lost altogether. And the poor afflicted soul can say nothing but a string of unconnected phrases pulled randomly from the works of the bard.
This is nothing. And nothing will come of nothing. 'Tis neither here nor there. Besides, small things make base men proud. And their pushers of this so-called bardophrenia are just that. They could only wish to have the power of Shakespeare. Is the green-eyed monster which doth mock. But I suppose we will give the devil his due. What a piece of work is man.
Holy smoke, it's Bartophrenia. Doc, you are not well.
Not well? These words are like razors to my wounded heart. I'm a man more sinned against than sinning, but I'll not wear my heart upon my sleeve for daws to peck at. Rather, I'll cry, havoc! And let slip the dogs of war. I'll speak daggers, but use none.
I've got to do something. Maybe, Doc, remember how much we enjoyed our classes on Moby Dick and Huck Finn, on Faulkner, on Joyce, on Oscar Wilde?
Ah, those are my solid days when I was green in judgment.
Snap out of this, Doc. What about your family? What about your wife?
My wife? Emily? As chaste as unsun snow, the barge she sat in, like a burnished throne. Burned on the water, the poop was beaten gold, purple the sails, and so perfumed that the winds were lovesick with them. The oars were silver, which to the tune of flutes kept stroke, and made the water which they beat to follow faster, as amorous as their strokes.
No, Doc, she drives a Chrysler minivan. Wow, I've got to shock him back to reality or he's lost forever. Let's see, this might work. Hey, Doc, there's a new production of the Scottish play coming to the Globe, starring our president. It's retitled McDonald's.
Well, misery acquaints a man with strange bedfellows. Some rise by sin, and some by virtue fall. Fie, do you think I'm easier to be played than on a pipe? Full fathom.
That didn't work.
I thought it was.
Maybe,
And
just
those
maybe,
bones are coral,
this could be our last chance.
These are pearls that were his
Doc?
eyes.
Shakespeare didn't write anything. There is research out that proves it. It was the Earl of Oxford, Earl de Vere. Shakespeare was a fake.
What? Oh, what? Oh, my head. What? Wait, what? What did you say?
This is the very ecstasy of love of Shakespeare. Though this be madness, yet there is method in it. Yet, sweet mercy is nobility's true badge, and to mourn a mischief that is past and gone is the next way to draw a new mischief on. And seeing him thus, how bitter a thing it is to look into happiness through another man's eyes.
Where am I? What's going on? What are you talking about? You seem to be speaking in Shakespearean tongues. Are you well?
Never better. In fact, I've never felt more intellectually elevated. Some are born great, some achieve greatness, and some have greatness thrust upon them. Whether this be insanity or not, I like this place and willingly could waste my time in it. And although uneasy lies the head that wears a crown, being tinged with Bartophrenia is quite ennobling, and true nobility is exempt from fear.
I don't disagree. But perhaps we happy few, we band of Bartophreniacs, should remember that the better part of valor is discretion, my friend. Perhaps indeed a change of pace is in order. This need not be the winter of our discontent. Onward to American Oracle.
And from there, where?
To unpathed waters, undreamed shores.